firewall rules and, surprise, surprise, another type of a policy, firewall policies, right? So what is the difference? When you are on project level, you can only, well, you can create both, right? In the past, you would only create firewall rules, and each rule you will define what that is, inbound, unbound, priority, and network tags versus service accounts, and so on and so forth, right? You practice it, nothing new. When you go higher, right, to an folder level or to an org level, you don't have firewall rules at all. You have only firewall policies. So the idea is, just like you can create single firewall rules on each project, you might want to centralize it. Just like you have org policies, which are kind of an umbrella for security, the same goes with firewall. You go higher, right, to an folder level or to an org level, you don't have firewall rules at all. You have only firewall policies. So the idea is, just like you can create single firewall rules on each project, you might want to centralize it. Just like you have org policies, which are kind of an umbrella for security, the same goes with firewall. You might want to create a policy for your firewall on a very high level, maybe even on org level, to centralize, to say, hey, this is the traffic that I do trust, this is the traffic that I don't want to allow globally to existing projects, to new projects, and so on, right? So Google is pushing up all the configuration of firewalls. When it comes to what a firewall policy is, this is just a bunch of rules, right? So whenever you are creating a policy, you are adding one or more rules, or you are creating those rules by yourself, right? So it is just a bunch of rules. One thing to remember is that just like a firewall rule, you can just go with allow or deny. With firewall rule within a policy, you can say go to next, right? Meaning I am defining a rule as a part of policy on my org level, and I'm saying, okay, I am aware of that traffic, but I don't want to decide yet if it's allowed or not. I want to push forward that decision to lower level, to a folder level, to a project, right? That's why we have that go to next thing. But basically, firewall policies are a recommended way of managing firewall rules in order to centralize it, in order not to have a situation where some automation of yours just created 20 new projects. Now, if you have 20 new projects, then you have and you did not create those firewall policies somewhere higher, well, they are vulnerable, right? Someone creates a VM and, well, maybe everyone can access it. If you have a policy high, then it doesn't. Okay, with that, I guess we need to wrap up for today. So thank you for the session. We covered, well, enough, I would say. We will catch up next week, so no worries. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your learning. If you have any questions, issues, just feel free to send us an email, and we will do our best to answer. Thank you. And last question that I would like to address, which is higher in evaluation order, rule or policy? This is where the rules are starting to be evaluated from top. And remember one thing with firewall, the first rule that matches, it is triggered, right? No other rules are validated. So if some kind of ingress or egress traffic is identified at org level and there is a deny, then it's a deny. No other rules down the line are evaluated. Okay, thanks a lot. Take care. Yes, we have priorities with those rules. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Maciej. Thank you, everyone.
This week's content. We will be jumping through different topics today, so don't be surprised. It will be a bit more dynamic probably. So yeah, let's start, right? So firewall insights, that's something you need to be aware of. That's a service at Google which helps you to give some recommendations when it comes to your firewall rules, right? So for example, Google can tell you that you might have shadow rules, right? And remember that rules in GCP work in such a way that the first rule that matches the pattern and has the lowest for high priority, that rule triggers, and that's the end of rule evaluation. No other rules are being evaluated, right? So from that perspective, you can have some shadow rules, meaning rules which are similar to some extent, but they are the existing ones, but they have lower priority, and thus they will never trigger, right? So why do you even have those? You might have some rules where you deny the traffic, and maybe you wouldn't anymore expect any traffic hitting those, but you still have those, right? Maybe you have some rules with overly permissive IP addresses or port ranges in Google things. That is good to have a look at those and make sure that you narrow them down, right? So it's a kind of a advisory slash recommendation service that is working on what this priority, and thus they will never trigger, right? So why do you even have those? You might have some rules where you deny the traffic, and maybe you wouldn't anymore expect any traffic hitting those, but you still have those, right? Maybe you have some rules with overly permissive IP addresses or port ranges in Google things. That is good to have a look at those and make sure that you narrow them down, right? So it's a kind of a advisory slash recommendation service that is working on what? Please tell me, what do you think? What kind of data firewall insights would need to have to give you that information, right? Like you are having hits on your deny routes. You are having different things. What do you think? What kind of data firewall insights need? What kind of data it's working on in order to give us those recommendations? Okay, we have the first answer, and the answer is flow logs. And this is one of the most common answers I get, but this is actually not the case, right? Remember that with flow logs, this is already where those logs are about the traffic that is already within our VPCs, right? So VPC flow logs is gathering some small percentage of traffic. That is happening. Please tell me, what do you think? What kind of data firewall insights would need to have to give you that information, right? Like you are having hits on your deny route. You are having different things. What do you think? What kind of data firewall insights need? What kind of data it's working on in order to give us those recommendations? Okay, we have the first answer, and the answer is flow logs. And this is one of the most common answers I get, but this is actually not the case, right? Remember that with flow logs, this is already where those logs are about the traffic that is already within our VPCs, right? So VPC flow logs is gathering some small percentage of traffic that is happening in our VPCs. If a firewall that, for example, denies the connectivity, well, we might not even have that traffic within our VPC, right? So from that perspective, the answer is pretty simple, right? Remember last time we talked about a setting for each rule actually, right? That you can choose if that rule would generate logs, right, for what's happening there, for the traffic that is hitting that rule. By default, it is off just because it can generate a large number of logs, which can increase cost, as it says. So Google is turning it off by default when you are creating a rule. You have the option to turn it on. And please be aware that those locks are actually needed for firewall insights to give you any recommendations. And remember that those locks are per firewall rule. It's not for the whole service. You cannot say that all the rules should be locked, right? You need to set it up in each of those, right? So remember those and you should be good. Let's try to answer some questions about firewall rules. So that's an example. Was such a question, you would see like 4 different gcloud commands, each creating a firewall rule. And obviously the use case is a bit different, right? Here we have some MongoDB database and a web application. So obviously we need to create a rule that allows our web application talk to the MongoDB database on a specific port, right? So what's my favorite approach to answering questions? Let's try to eliminate some of those, and we will see that we will really end up with the only answer that makes sense, right? If we follow the approach. Okay, Felix says exclude CMD. That's okay. Why would that be? What do you think? Exclude CMD. That's okay. Why would that be? What do you think? Notification. Okay, this is because those are about user accounts, right? I don't know even what that is because it needs to be a service account, okay? Because you cannot use the service non-service accounts for those rules. But anyway, the naming convention doesn't match, and those user accounts are weird here, right? Those user accounts shouldn't be used in firewall. So we have to eliminate it. Now, what other and application to application need to use a service account? Okay, and what other tool would you eliminate also, but from a different perspective, right? So we just eliminated CMD, but you could always also say that we would be able to eliminate exactly ICMP, right, and UDP. So by following or by seeing the protocol, we could also eliminate BND. So if we eliminated B and CMD and then BND, well, we are left with the first answer, right? So hopefully that's okay. Another kind of a question is exactly what about what we just covered. So let's try to answer this one. it's about monitoring, determining which deny rules are triggering, right? So it's definitely about firewall insights, right? Which we just covered. It doesn't give us a ton of information because all the answers have firewall insights somewhere there. So let's try to handle it somehow differently. What do we know? What do we rule out, right? So for example, I would like eliminate the last answer, right? So Felix, I see that you're opting for D, but actually the last one doesn't even enable API, right? If you don't have an API enabled and all the others do, then well, the approach from my perspective would be that you need to have it for every service that you want to use within GCP. You should first enable API for that service. Okay, so I would rule out D. But what's the other, even more important reasoning? How would you approach the question? What did you just say about those firewall insights? What do they need? What did you say? That they are working on logs. Exactly, right? Enable logging. So based on that, I would also eliminate B and C, right? Because those, well, they enabled the API, but they didn't really enable firewall rules logging anyhow. So even if the API is enabled, it wouldn't have data to work on, right? That's the idea there. Okay, so this is why we would proceed. Okay, clear enough, I guess. Okay, let's move on and try to another service which is also pretty important for security. It's called identity and proxy. I would assume that you know a little bit about it already. This is where you can additionally protect your application and VM, right? So there are two use cases for AI. The first one is the application, right? So let's say that you exposed your application via something, right? And that something might be app engine, that something can be a VM, a GKE cluster, or a Cloud Run, which we do not see it, but you can also expose application by Cloud Run. And then let's say that you exposed your and VM, right? So there are two use cases for AI. The first one is the application, right? So let's say that you exposed your application via something, right? And that something might be app engine, that something can be a VM, a GKE cluster, or a Cloud Run, which we do not see it, but you can also expose application by Cloud Run. And then you expose it via cloud load balancing. In all of those cases, Google will kind of detect that your application is there, right? If you are in the same project, if you go to IAP, Google will detect your application, right? And for example, this app of mine is now exposed by App Engine. Super fancy app, by the way. If you look at it, it's your own, right? It's accessible all around the world. You can reach it, right, without having to have any privileges and so on, right? So this is where, as you know, Google doesn't like that client VPN software too much. So let's assume that this application shouldn't be exposed for everyone. Let's assume that we created it as a kind of an internal app. Okay, we want to share it only with some specific groups within our company or within our company in general, right? So what do, right? We either work within that application and programmatically add some client IAM layer where we allow people to authenticate and to check their authorizations, etc., etc. But we can do it much simpler, and this is what IAP is about, right? You can just turn on that toggle, turn on IAP for a specific application, and what happens there, and this is what IAP is about, right? That application within our company or within our company in general, right? So what do, right? We either work within that application and programmatically add some client IAM layer where we allow people to programmatically add some client IAM layer where we allow people to authenticate and to check their authorizations, etc. But we can do it much simpler, and this is what IAP is about, right? You can just turn on that toggle, turn on IAP for a specific application, and what happens then is that when your users would be accessing that application, they would need to be redirected to identity-aware proxy, right? What identity-aware proxy is, as the name suggests, it's a mesh of proxies, right? So redirected to identity-aware proxy, right? What identity-aware proxy is, as the users would be on that toggle, turn on IAP for a specific application, and what happens then is that when your users would be accessing that application, they would need to be redirected to identity-aware proxy, right? What identity-aware proxy is, as the name suggests, it's a mesh of proxies, right? So basically, the use case is that before your users are redirected to an app, right, deployed somewhere, they are going to IAP, they are authenticated, they are authorized, and only then the IAP, the proxy, redirects them to the app. Application. Okay, what do you need to have? What privileges you need to have to allow your users to use that kind of an application is this specific role, right? Try to memorize it. You will see it on the exam sometimes. To allow your users to use that kind of an application is this specific role, right? Try to memorize it. You will privileges you need to have to allow your users to use that kind of an application is this specific role, right? Try to memorize it. You will see it on the exam sometimes. So that role name is IAP Secured Web App User. It means that whoever has it, it can be a specific principal, a specific user, or a group, or your whole company, or you can even use such things like all users if you want to make that application public, right? So whoever has that specific role, they can use that application. Now, one more thing here, remember that with other roles, when we try to assign them, we have those so-called IAM conditions, right? We covered IAM conditions, we mentioned what those are and why would you use it, okay? Now, if you choose a IAP Secured Web App User role, those IAM conditions disappeared, right? So what just happened? We have something different. We have something called access levels here, okay? So please remember that IAP is not only about checking your privileges from IAM perspective, but you can also check some other characteristics of a user session. So let's have a look. Look at those access levels, right? And I can check the access levels. But you can also check some other characteristics of a user session. So let's have a look. Look at those access levels, right? And I can check the access level to make sure that that it is being checked. But what is it about really? If you go to those access levels, and in order to define them, you would need to switch to organization scope. right? So all the way up to the highest level there. And here I have some access levels, but let's see how to create a new one. So basically, as mentioned, if you want to have IAP check additional characteristics of the user session, you can define, for example, if a user is trying to use your application, that they need to be coming from a known CIDR range, right? So from practical perspective, this is a kind of a simulation of the client VPN, right? But this is not a client VPN. You can also say that you request a kind of a simulation of the client VPN. It needs to be coming from a known CIDR range, right? So from practical perspective, if a user is trying to use your application, that they need to be coming from a known CIDR range, right? So from practical perspective, if a user is trying to use your application, that they need to be coming from a known CIDR range, right? So from practical perspective, this is a kind of a simulation of the client VPN, right? But this is not a client VPN. You can also say that you request that everyone trying to use your application is coming from a specific location there, right? Specific country. Also, if you opt in for the premium version, right? Because this is actually, some features are free, some are not. So in the premium version, you have much more. Like you can say, okay, I have exposed my application. I want to ensure that my employees are using that application only, and that they are using that application from a device that I control, right? From a laptop that I handed them over, that I control, that has some security policies, that has operating system up to date, that has some physical key when they log in, etc. Right? So this is where you can enrich IAP or access to your applications by those access levels with those different characteristics, right? That's something you need to remember. Now, the second use case, access to your applications, physical key when they log in at control, the application is coming from a known CIDR range, right? So, for example, if a user is trying to use your application, that they need to be coming from a known CIDR range, right? So from practical perspective, this is a kind of a simulation of the client VPN, right? But this is not a client VPN. You can also say that you request that everyone trying to use your application is coming from a specific location there, right? Specific country. Also, if you opt in for the premium version, right? Because this is actually, some features are free, some are not. So in the premium version, you have much more. Like you can say, okay, I have exposed my application. I want to ensure that my employees are using that application only, and that they are using that application from a device that I control, right? From a laptop that I handed them over, that I control, that has some security policies, that has operating system up to date, that has some physical key when they log in, etc. Right? So this is where you can enrich IAP or access to your applications by those access levels with those different characteristics. Right? That's something you need to remember. Now, the second use case for IAP, it's mostly about SSHing or RDPing in the VMs. Right? So if you have your VMs, a list of those. Mine are probably all down, right? But basically, most of them do not have internal IPs. And you are also working in the labs with some VMs with probably all SSHing or RDPing in the VMs, right? So if you have your VMs, a list of those, mine are probably all down, right? But basically, most of them do not have internal IPs. And you are also working in the labs with some VMs without external IPs. So what happens if a VM is started? You are well aware that you have a button here, right? And if you click that button, then a new pop-up is opened, and Google is creating and exchanging SSH keys, and it is letting you into that VM, right? So from the security perspective, it's more or less clear, right? Google generates some keys, private and public key pair. It is injecting that key to a VM, pretty simple, it's more or less clear, right? And it is letting you into that VM, right? So from the security perspective, it's more or less clear, right? Google generates some keys, private and public key pair. It is injecting that key to a VM, pretty simple. Now, how do you really make it happen that you even see that VM, right? That VM has only internal IP. I see it and I connect to it from my browser, from my laptop that is on the internet, right? I am not connected with any kind of client VPN, and still I am able to click that SSH button and I will be redirected to that VM. So how does this visibility look like? How am I able to see it? Any idea? Let's ask what need to when you kind of SSH to a VM. There is a troubleshooting guide if you kind of SSH. You will see some errors, etc. There is a troubleshoot option in the command digital compute SSH and so on. So there are a number of steps that you can take to troubleshoot it, right? Also, if it's about network visibility, right? If you cannot SSH to VM because you don't see it, because some firewall rule blocks you, etc. There is a specific intelligence center, I guess it's called, network intelligence center, which is an umbrella of a couple of products. And one of those products is connectivity test. So maybe if you are struggling with some connectivity anywhere during the labs, you can create such a test, right? As far as you can see, I have quite a lot of those, right? So it's really useful. And you can say, hey, my source is this, my target is something else. I am trying to connect from a VM to a VM, from an IP address to Cloud, from Cloud SQL to load balancer, or the other way around, right? So those steps are pretty useful. But going back to my question, I don't see any answer there. So basically, let me help you out, right? If you click SSH button, then if the VM has an external IP, like this one, right, then, well, it's usable. Like you have the visibility if you have the external IP. If it doesn't, then Google defaults or switches to IAP, right? So it switches to this use case where you are trying to access your VM without an external IP. And again, if that VM doesn't have an external IP, then you are automatically like switched to IAP, right? So Google redirects you to IAP, and then IAP authenticates you, right? Authorizes you via IAM and those possible characteristics that we have just mentioned. And IAP, since it's a well-known mesh of proxies within Google, it has visibility into everything, right? So it redirects you to your VM. So you are not going to your VM directly, but you are really going to your VM via IAP, right? So why is it important? Just because you can either stop using bastion hosts or jump hosts, right? Because you can SSH or RDP into your VMs without those with IAP, or which is probably a better solution, have those bastion hosts or jump hosts, but do not assign them external IP in order to increase the security, right? So maybe after IAP, that VM would be a bastion host, right? You would have specific firewall rules that will allow you for that connectivity, and only from that bastion host, it will be able to connect to the others, right? Because you set up firewall rules in some specific manner. Talking about firewall rules, this is also important for the exam, right? If you go to GCP, IAP, firewall, and if you look for 35 dot something, you will see that Google exposed IAP, this mesh of proxies, over a specific static CIDR range. And this is the range, right? Why is that important? First of all, it's important because you can see that kind of range on the exam, static rules. This is also important for the exam, right? If you go to GCP, set up firewall rules in some specific for that connectivity. So maybe after IAP, that VM would be a bastion host, right? You would have specific firewall rules that will allow you for that connectivity, and only from that bastion host, it will be able to connect to the others, right? Because you set up firewall rules in some specific manner. Talking about firewall rules, this is also important for the exam, right? If you go to GCP, IAP, firewall, and if you look for 35 dot something, you will see that Google exposed IAP, this mesh of proxies, over specific static CIDR range, and this is the range, right? Why is that important? First of all, it's important because you can see that kind of range from the exam, right? And second of all, because when you are redirected from IAP to your VM, right? Or if you are redirected from IAP to your application, that means that from the VM perspective or from that application perspective, you are coming from where, right? That VM and that application sees your session as coming from this particular CIDR range. So it doesn't see you as coming from your real IP address, but it sees you coming from that range. And as a consequence, in order to let that communication happen, right, in order for me to be able to click that SSH button to go to IAP and then be directed to that VM, I need a firewall rule, an ingress firewall rule that will allow me to connect to that VM from this specific CIDR range, right? Remember, you might see some questions on the exam that the communication is not working for some reason, etc. The most likely reason for that is that you have not created a firewall rule that allows the traffic from IAP CIDR range to your firewall, right? Hopefully that makes sense. Can you show us how to activate IAP in the VM, or is it by default? It is by default. However, the VM needs to have TCP forwarding turned on, I guess, right? So this is where the rule will be created. You need to have some roles. IAP secured tunnel user role is there. I would probably redirect you to that documentation. That would be best, I guess, in order to save some time and to move ahead. When it comes to the questions, they might be easy like this one, right? Like you need to provide SSH access. To some developer, to a VM, to an application. You don't want to use client VPN and so on and so forth. And IAP as a use case needs to be identified, just like here, right? We discovered IAP. That's obvious that this would be the answer, and the rest are not about IAP, right? So a pretty simple one. But as mentioned, you can also be asked about some of those context access levels, right? You need to be aware that they exist. Maybe you have some kind of scenario that someone wants to limit connectivity to some specific countries only, right? Or CIDR ranges, or you have that malfunctioning, not working well connectivity. So then you have to think about that firewall rule and creating it if it's not there, right? Okay. Hopefully it's clear. You will go to a lab with IAP, so no worries. You will have some practice, right? When it comes to the next one, it's about Cloud Armor. I don't want to go very deep here. Just let me mention that Cloud Armor never lives by itself, meaning it's always an element of a load balance, right? So by the best practice is to expose all your workloads, right, to a load balancer, even if that workload is not deployed to VM, but via App Engine Cloud Runner. You should use load balancers. Load balancer already gives you some protection from volumetric and other attacks on the lower layers, right? Cloud Armor gives you more, right? So it gives you a possibility to say which CIDR ranges you want to allow, which you don't want to allow, some layer 7 DDoS protection, etc. Right? If we have CIDR ranges you want to allow, which you don't want to allow, some layer 7 DDoS protection, right? If we have a look at Cloud Armor, you will see that it's another type of a policy, right? So I don't know, third or even fourth type of policy, like IAM policies or policies, firewall policies, now Cloud Armor security policies, right? So be careful with those. So when creating those, you have created two approaches where you can specify a default action, which would be to allow everyone, right, in, and then you would exempt some users. You would specify some rules to deny some traffic, or you handle it the other way around, right? You can say, by default, I want to deny everyone, right? And then they see some specific code when they try to access my website, and then I will add some rules to allow the traffic, right? So to approach it depending on what your business needs, right? The most basic approach is to provide CIDR ranges. However, just please be aware of the advanced mode. So for example, Cloud Armor gives you that common expression language. Do not learn it by any means, right? But you have different options where you can, for example, say, just like with IAP, right? That I require that traffic from some specific country is blocked, for example, right? So this is an additional layer of protection out there. Also remember about additional actions. Cloud Armor is not only about allowing or denying, but you can also, for example, throttle, right? Based on some characteristics, or redirect. Also remember that you can enable preview, which means that because those rules can block some valid traffic, right? If you define them in the inadequate manner, you can enable preview, which means that you will see what Cloud Armor would do, right, in the logs, but it wouldn't really work, right? So this is an option for you to test the new configuration before rolling it out. Just like with firewall rules, we have priority. The approach is the same, like lower number is higher priority, right? You might even say, you might question, why do we even have cloud armor if we have firewall rules, right? And the answer mostly is the cloud armor works on a load balancer level. It protects your traffic from different attacks. On that specific level, it pushes the defense from those attacks, from your workloads, from your VMs to the Google's network and load balancer, right? Because you have to understand that Google's firewall rules will only work at your VM level, right? So if you have some malicious kind of traffic, and you have millions of requests, and you have just exposed an application via a VM with external IP, then the whole traffic will hit that VM. And yes, if you have some firewall rule that should protect it, then you might be good with that, but it's like your VM is hit and can be easily overloaded, right? So yes, cloud armor is additional way of protection, always like assigned to a target, which is an external application load balancer, and it's like a AWAC, right? Basically, yes. Okay, moving forward, some questions maybe about cloud armor. Let's see. Again, just like with IAP, those can be quite trivial, like the use case, right? DDoS, layer 7 DDoS, SQL injection, cross-site scripting. This is what cloud armor protects us from, right? So a very simple question. We can also see a much more complex one, like this one, right? Which let's try to. Answer it. This is where we have, again, just like with those firewall rules, right? But we have 4 different default commands, each creating a security policy for cloud armor, and we have to choose the right one. What are your options here, or what do we eliminate? We have the first answer. It was too quick. How did you how did you read that answer? How did you get it? Why did you choose it? There's a question that cloud armor has some implicit capabilities which are automatically applied. Not sure. It may have like all those cross-site scripting, SQL injections. I think there are some defined rules under the hood that will protect you from those top 10 OWASP threats there. Okay, getting back to the question because of HTTP status quo. Okay, so So if you know the package code, that will help you a lot, right? So any exceeding usage should be information that the servers are busy. If you know that thing, you are good to go. 49, you are done, right? Like easy question. If you didn't know that, then you might first of all eliminate answer B because it's like the interval there is like 60 seconds, and we are talking about every hour, so we have to have 3,600 seconds, right? That's the thing. And also remember that the question asked about throttling, so the action needs to be throttled, and it cannot be anything else like in C or D, right? So also from those perspectives, you can read the same. Needs to be throttled, and it cannot be anything else like in C or D, right? So also from those perspectives, you can read the same outcome. Okay, great. Okay, now two services which I don't want to spend too much time on, but let's quickly address them. Cloud CDN, probably not covered at all at the exam, or maybe you will see it somewhere on the question just as a use case. So you have to just be aware why Cloud CDN is relevant for security. It is again a part of load balance, right? Just like Cloud Armor is something that you can attach to a load balancer. The same goes with Cloud CDN. Now, why is it relevant for security? Because some attacks will try to overwhelm your service by querying some data of yours like millions and millions times at the same time, right? So Cloud CDN is just a content delivery network. It's about caching some information in different locations in the load balancer. So from that perspective, if you have a ton of requests, then on the first request, asking about some data needs to go to your application server, needs to go to your database, etc. Then it will be cached in Cloud CDN, and all the millions of requests that will come afterwards, again, they do not have to hit your infrastructure. They like stop on the load balancer level, even if they are served. They are served from Cloud CDN and not by your backup, right? But I don't want to focus too much in Cloud CDN. It shouldn't be covered too much on the exam, so let's do those first. Now the last one from last week is Cloud NAT. That is something you can get asked about. This is one of the best practices where your VMs do not have externalities, but they do need to go out, right? They need to reach out to some internet resources to do what? To fetch some data, for example. Right? They need to reach out to some internet resources to do what? To fetch some data, for example, right? To get new versions of their binaries, to upgrade the operating system and so forth, and so on and so forth. Right? So there are some use cases which you want to let it happen. So you want your VMs to not be seen from the outside, but you want them to fetch something from the outside, right? With cloud, please remember two things. That Cloud NAT is a regional service, meaning if you have a question that that some communication is not going out, and maybe it's worth checking if your VMs are in the same region as your Cloud NAT instances or gateways. The second thing is Cloud NAT works only for VMs without external IP, right? So even if you have Cloud NAT defined, right, in a specific region, and you have a VM in that region, then this VM will use Cloud NAT if it doesn't have external IP, and it will completely ignore Cloud NAT if it has external IP, right? That's the second thing. Fine, right? In a specific region, and you have a VM in that region, then this VM will use Cloud NAT if it doesn't have external IP. it will completely ignore Cloud NAT if it has external IP, right? So that's the second thing. Cloud NAT defined, right? In a specific region, Cloud NAT works only for VMs without external IP, right? So even if you have instances or gateways, the second thing is Cloud NAT works only for VMs without external IP, right? So even if you have Cloud NAT defined, right, in a specific region, and you have a VM in that region, then this VM will use Cloud NAT if it doesn't have external IP, and it will completely ignore Cloud NAT if it has external IP, right? That's the second thing. Also, you can assign some specific IPs to Cloud NAT. Why is it important? Mostly because some of the third parties there, right, that you are reaching out to, expect that you are coming from a known CID array, right? So they know you as a customer, you registered, maybe you're paying something to them, and they expect that you will be coming from a specific IP or CID array more broadly. This is where you should take over the IP allocation from on Cloud NAT when setting. Up Cloud NAT, just because the vendor that you are reaching will not see you as the as the VM there, but it will see you as coming from that Cloud NAT IP, right? Because those VMs again they do not have external IPs. So I think those are the most important things about Cloud NAT. And with that, I would propose to move to next week or this week's slide. There are still a ton of different topics. There is a quiz that I wanted to share with you, but I think that we should just let's spend like 2 minutes on that. What do you think about this one? Those should be a bit easier questions than diagnostic ones, and I will also share those quizzes every week so that you can validate your knowledge more. But I don't want to spend too much time on answering those. For hybrid connectivity, you have some specific requirements at the moment, and then you have something looking into the future, right? And this is actually the key. Do not look at what you need at the moment. Switching from one interconnect to the other or arranging interconnect is pretty difficult and time consuming. So if you already know that you will need more in the future, that you should already go with dedicated interconnect, right? Because this will allow you to do just that, right? So remember about it. I see different answers there. Google would really like to plan into the future already. Okay, what about this one? This one should be super simple. So there is some outage. you suspect that a recent change to your firewall rules is responsible. Right? So I think that we already covered it today. We have to rule out most of those, and exactly the only one that makes sense is the firewall rules logging base. It's not about VPC programs. Many people choose VPC programs, right? So make sure to understand. Okay, let us go forward with the content. And again, this is a type of a quiz that I will share every week. In this week's slide, because you will get the slides, right? If you look for a quiz, you will just see the link to that particular quiz. Just feel free to handle it in your free time. It is more or less to validate your data, to make you more confident, to make sure that you are able to, that you're progressing as you should anyway, right? Okay, like 50 minutes left, nearly 50, and we have a lot of topics ahead. Let's start from the first one, which is where I want to clarify a thing that is pretty messy at the moment with GCP, right? So labels, tags, and network tags. What's the difference? I think that between labels and network tags, it is more or less clear, right? So for example, you have created some resources, like maybe let's go to a page. Of a disk. But it's like similar with all of them, right? If you look for labels, that's where you can assign some specific labels to this. You can say that and prod, right? Or owner, team A, or something and something else. Okay, so this is where labels are always key and value first. But between labels and nearly 50, and we have a lot of topics ahead. Let's start from the first one, which is where I want to clarify a thing that is pretty messy at the moment with GCP, right? So labels, tags, and network tags. What's the difference? I think that between labels and network tags, it is more or less clear, right? So for example, you have created some resources, like maybe let's go to a creation of a disk. But it's like similar with all of them, right? If you look for labels, that's where you can assign some specific labels to this. You can say that and prod, right? Or owner, team A, or something and something else. Okay, so this is where labels are always key and value first. They are free text, so this is up to you. How do you define them? What are labels for, right? They are mostly for visibility. So when you go to all your assets in the cloud, you may easily filter by those labels. And also they are for cost, right? So for invoices, for being aware how much your production workloads cost, how much does it cost to run the workloads owned by team A, etc. This is about labels, right? So I think we are clear. When it comes to network tags, those network tags are only assigned to VMs, right? And they are only for networking, right? So you can say that when you are planning a VM, you are saying this is a Bastion host, right? Or this is a database, or this is something else. Okay, and then, as you know, when you are creating firewall rules, this is where you might use those network tags, right? So all until 1 year ago, it was like that within Google. It was clear, nothing to worry about. But then Google said, okay, we are seeing that other hyperscalers have something called tags. And those tags of theirs are not network tags of ours, and they are also not labeled because they are much more advanced than our labels, right? So let's make something else. Let's now introduce tags. So from that perspective, please be aware that, again, labels are just key value pairs that you define on your own without any constraints, more or less. That network tags are for firewall, and that tags are a new thing that is being introduced within Google now. And you can think of tags as labels version 2. That would be the simplest explanation, right? They are very similar to labels in structure, okay? Like the tag, as you can see, is also a key value pair, just like a label, nothing different here. But the difference is that I do not just write those as I please, right? Using any values there, but I need to choose, right? I am choosing from a set of keys and a set of possible values. That is the first difference, right? So in order to define those, I have to first go to tags, okay, and create those. I need to say, for example, owner, right? And I will say that possible values will be team A and team Z, for example. I don't allow any more values. If I create that tag key, someone creating a disk or a VM or anything else will be able to use it. But again, they do not get the possibility to create it as they please, but they need to choose it from that list, right? Now, why does it also matter? Why tags are better than labels? Why tags are even label version 2? Mostly because tags can be used for security reasons, right? With labels, as we mentioned, it was mostly about finding our assets, and it was also about billing, right? With tags, it is also about security, meaning that you can attach a role, right? Let's say an editor role, and attach a condition there, in which condition you will refer to a tag. And this is exactly this tag that you might have defined on a resource, right? So by doing that, you can say, I am granting privileges to all the VMs within my organization, but only the ones that are owned by team A, right? Or I'm granting privileges to my non-productive VMs across some, right? So this is where tags are also a security mechanism, allowing you to influence those IAM policies, which we see here. And I think they also influence org policy. So you can also say, I do not allow for external IPs unless a project or a folder is called VMDEV, for example. So that's a kind of an exception. Okay. So hopefully that's something that makes sense. I know it is pretty confusing as of now, but if you remember that network tags are something different than tags, right? That network tags are only for firewall rules, and the tags are like more advanced, more capable, more security aware labels, you should be more or less good to go, right? Are there any questions about it? I know where it's pretty weird at the moment. Probably in the future, tags will take over the labels, but until that happens, both exist in the same time zone, right? Okay, I don't see any questions, so I hope it was clear. Can we say that tags are used in IAM, but labels are not? Well, yes, labels cannot be used in IAM, right? So technically speaking, tags allow you to do more and allow you to increase the security, while labels can't, right? And as you have seen when we created a VM, right? At the moment, you can create both. You can go to a VM, you can create an instance, and you can assign it both labels and tags, right? So a weird setup. Okay, data encryption. So another topic for today. I think you know it to some extent. Let's just have a look at your options from KMS perspective, right? Will tags completely replace labels in the future? It's not up to me. From my perspective, they both should not exist at the same time because it is very confusing for the customers. That's what I would say. If how Google merges it in the future, if they merge it, that's like something I'm not aware of. So when it comes to data encryption, first of all, I guess you are aware that all your data is encrypted by default. You don't even have the possibility to turn off encryption, right? But whenever you are creating a resource, right? this or anything else, you have a choice. You can say, I trust Google. I don't want to manage that encryption anyhow. I want to offload it fully to Google. That's a valid choice. Most customers use it actually. But whenever you are creating a resource, right, be it this or anything else, you have a choice. You can say, I trust Google. I don't want to manage that encryption anyhow. I want to offload it fully to Google. You have a choice. You can say, I trust Google. I don't want to manage a resource, right? Be it this or anything else, you have a choice. You can say, I trust Google. I don't want to manage that encryption anyhow. I want to offload it fully to Google. That's a valid choice of encryption, right? But whenever you are creating a resource, right, be it this or anything else, you have a choice. You can say, I trust Google. I don't want to manage that encryption anyhow. I want to offload it fully to Google. That's a valid choice. Most customers use it actually, right? But maybe you have some either internal security requirements, or maybe you need to follow some compliance regulations that expect something more, that expect that you manage encryption keys in some specific way, that you rotate them in some specific way, that you store them outside of the platform where you keep the data, and so on and so forth, right? So for that, Google has options. They are called CMAC and CSEC, right? So customer managed encryption keys, this is where you manage encryption keys, and customer supplied encryption keys. That's the most hardcore version of that. So maybe let's cover this one. If you choose CSEC, this is where you are saying, dear Google, I am managing my encryption keys within my on-premises or outside of GCP. I don't want you to handle them anyhow. I want you just to use them. And the funny thing about it is that in every integration, right, whenever you are creating or changing a resource or encrypting, decrypting data, you need to provide that key, that encryption key, right? Because Google says that they do not store it anyhow. Okay, and you need to prepare that key in a specific manner. So maybe that's also important for the exam. GCP, CSEC example. Let's try to encrypt this with customer select key. That would be pretty useful for you. So let me leave a link there. And as you can see, there is a required key format. So if you are using CSEC, you must provide a key that is 256 bits print encoded in base 64, right? So that's something you can also see on the exam. You can expect it on some of the questions. So please remember that if you are using CSEC, this is where you need to provide that key in a specific format that is described, right? Also be aware that CSEC is available only for bits and GCS buckets, nothing more. So if you really need to use CSEC, well, you cannot use 95% of Google services, right? So that's a pretty tricky thing. That's why CSEC is not very important, very common, and probably you will not get a lot of questions about it. Maybe about that key format and the possibility of doing that, right? Let's focus on CMAC. CMAC is where you are saying, I still want to manage my encryption keys within the platform, within Google, but I want to take over the management, right? I want to decide.
মার্কেট দিয়ে নিয়ে এসে আমাকে সস্তা করে বাট কাজের চাপে একটু সামনের দিকে থেকে যাওয়া একটু টাফ হয়ে যাচ্ছে। সো এখান থেকে নিলাম 700 কত টাকা করে যেন লাইক 700 টাকা প্লাস 50%। আজকে দিয়ে নিয়েছি বেশি ভাই প্রথম মনে আমি বাসায় বের করে এটা ভিডিও বানা আপলোড করলাম। কেমন লেগেছে আপনাদের একটু জানান।
If you see it right, there is a field where you need to select that, right? So if you are saying, I still want to manage my encryption keys within the platform, within Google, but I want to take over the management, right? I want to decide. If you see it right, there is a field where you need to select that, right? So if you just allow Google to do its job, you don't have it. If you say, I'm creating a this or anything else with that CMAC approach, Google is saying, okay, if you are choosing CMAC, I would assume that you have already prepared a key for me, and please point me to that encryption key, which I can use to encrypt that bit, right? That bit. You have already prepared a key for me, and please point me to that encryption key, which I can use to encrypt that bit, right? That's the idea. So let's have a look at how do we even create those keys. We manage those in KMS, right? Key management service. First of all, before we create any key, we need to have a keyring, right? Keyring is a kind of a directory for your keys. From the exam perspective, you might see some questions and create those encryption key, which I can use to encrypt that bit, right? That's the idea. So let's have a look at how do we even create those keys. We manage those in KMS, right? Key management service. First of all, before we create any key, we need to have a keyring. Right? Keyring is a kind of a directory for your keys. From the exam perspective, you might see some questions about location, right? So maybe the question will specify some compliance requirement that all your keys are stored in a specific region, for example, due to compliance reasons, right? That's what you need to remember about those keyrings. As you see, those keyrings have also tags, right? So this is another like example that Google is trying to roll out those tags to those security services. There is some inheritance of those tags, as you can see, right? I didn't even assign that tag manually, but it was inherited from the project. It's pretty interesting setup. But anyway, once we have the keyrings, right? And keyrings are the logical groupings of the key, right? So I've seen some questions asking like, you have a bunch of disks or resources. Some of those are managed by one entity or one team. Others are managed by someone else. How do you manage the keys, right? So maybe it's enough to have two separate keys or to have two separate key rings for those. It depends. You have a bunch of disks or resources. Some of those are managed by one entity or one team. Others are managed by someone else. How do you manage the keys, right? So maybe it's enough to have two separate keys or to have two separate key rings for those, depending on the scenario. Now let's have a look at the options of creating a key, right? So the basic one is the software layer. If the question asks for hardware security module, if the question asks about some tips, it's 140 compliance, right? Something. This is where you can just for hardware security module. If the question asks about some tips, 140 compliance, right? Something. This is where you can just choose HSM and all your keys will be encrypted and decrypted not on the software level but on the hardware level. That's it, right? Simple setting. Of course, you will pay for it a bit more. Okay. This one is interesting, right? We just hardware level. That's it, right? Simple setting. Of course, you will pay for it a bit more. Okay. This one is interesting, right? We just said that CSEC is external. We said that with CSEC, you can store your keys anywhere outside of the platform, right? Now, this is a kind of a hybrid because this is still CMEC, right? You're managing keys in KMS, so this is customer managed encryption keys. But in most cases, in those two cases, your keys are really stored within the platform, within GCP. With this setting, those are actually stored outside, right? And this is pretty interesting because even if your compliance says that you need to store your encryption keys outside of the platform where those keys are used, then yes, CSEC is one option, but we said it's hard and it's available only for two types of resources. And this is why you have that option with CMEC. And this option tells you cannot do it wherever you like. It's not about you storing those keys on premises or any software of your choice, but Google partnered with 4 key management providers, right? And you can choose one of those to store your keys. And then you have that kind of a setup where you still manage the keys within GCP, but they are stored outside of GCP, right? So be aware of that option. What else? When you provide or create a key material, you can generate it, so the platform will generate it for you, or you can import that, right? So maybe you have a process within your company where you are generating those keys somewhere in on premises, and you need to still be doing that. So you can do that even if you're using GCP, but after you have generated the key within on premises, you can just upload that key here to GCP, right? That's another option. And the last thing I wanted to mention about this setup of a key is a difference between symmetric and asymmetric key. Okay, so with symmetric, you have an option of having automatic. Rotation. You can tell Google that they should rotate your keys, right, every X amount of days. When you choose an asymmetric key, then for some technical reasons, and as far as I believe, you don't have that option, right? So some questions will try to trick you into having asymmetric key and rotating it automatically. And this is false, right? You cannot do it. You have to manually rotate those asymmetric keys on your own. Okay? So let's still have a look at one of those keys of mine. So we just mentioned the rotation, right? Just due to the rotation, you can have multiple versions of an encryption key. All those versions can be active, right? All of those are enabled. So this is where I have a key with 8 different versions. There is a rotation set every 90 days. So every 90 days, Google is creating a new key version, and then all the new objects are rotated or are encrypted with that key, right? You can manage those versions independently. Like I can disable specific versions. After I disable, I can destroy those versions, right? So this is pretty granular. And also IAM is pretty granular, right? So if we go now to IAM and we want to grant someone the privileges, a role to manage those encryption keys, right? What would we do? Option A is to go to IAM on the project level. And also IAM is pretty granular, right? So if we go now to IAM and we want to grant someone the privileges, a role to manage those encryption keys, right? What would we do? Option A is to, like I can
হচ্ছে টাইম বাই আইএম গিভেন
disable specific versions. After I disable, I can destroy those versions, right? So this is pretty granular, and also IAM is pretty granular, right? So if we go now to IAM and we want to grant someone the privileges, a role to manage those encryption keys, right? What would we do? Option A is to go to IAM on the privileges, A to opt key of asymmetric key, then they should those asymmetric keys on the rotation, right? Just due to the rotation, you can have multiple versions of an encryption key. All those versions can be active, right? All of those are enabled. So this is where I have a key with 8 different versions. There is a rotation set every 90 days. So every 90 days, Google is creating a new key version, and then all the new objects are rotated or are encrypted with that key, right? You can manage those versions independently. Like I can disable specific versions. After I disable, I can destroy those versions, right? So this is pretty granular, and also IAM is pretty granular, right? So if we go now to IAM and we want to grant someone the privileges, a role to manage those encryption keys, right? What would we do? Option A is to go to IAM on the project level, right? That's my project, and I would assign some KMS roles. So maybe if someone needs to manage the DS level, a role to specific running, right? So if we go those versions, manage those versions independently, like I can disable specific versions. After I disable, I can destroy those versions, right? So this is pretty granular, and also IAM is pretty granular, right? So if we go now to IAM and we want to grant someone the privileges, a role to manage those encryption keys, right? What would we do? Option A is to go to IAM on the project level, right? That's my project, and I would assign some KMS roles. So maybe if someone needs to manage the encryption keys, maybe that would be KMS admin, right? If the person would need to only use the encryption key, maybe a role called encryptor decryptor would be enough, right? But this is where they would get the privileges to all the keys within KMS within the whole project. But I can go much deeper than that. I can even choose a single key ring or a key in a key ring, and now I can do the same, right? I can grant the same role like KMS admin or encryptor, right? But this time I am assigning it to a specific key and not all the keys within the project, right? So that's following the least privilege approach. Also, please remember that there is a pattern. I think we would see it somewhere here, where those keys does not have to be created in the same project where the resources are, right? So just because you are planning to use an encryption key to encrypt your BigQuery data set, it doesn't mean that they need to be in the same project. Quite the opposite. If you want to follow best practices, probably you will create a separate project or a set of projects just to keep and manage those encryption keys. And the resources which are encrypted with those keys would be stored in different projects, right? So that's a separation of duties where you as security specialists would be handling those projects, and then the others, the business or the system owners would be handling the other projects, right? That's the difference. Okay, let's have a look at the questions because there are some. Ideally, the old version of key shouldn't work even if it is enabled. Well, this is a bit tricky because just because you rotate the key doesn't mean that the data that was encrypted, that is encrypted with the old key would be changed, right? Okay, you get what I mean, right? If you had a version 1 and you just encrypted 100 terabytes of data with that version, then if you rotate it and you have another version, and now if you expected that after rotating the version 1 is disabled or destroyed, then Google would need to recrypt, so to say, right? Decrypt 100 terabytes of data with this key and then encrypt it again with that, right? So I don't think it should be like the default approach that if you rotate a key, then all the data is decrypted again. So there is some process for that, right? Obviously, you can disable the key there, and there is a delay. As you can see, there's a delay or up to a few hours during which it can still operate the data. Why is that? This is exactly because Google needs to change the data. It needs to decrypt it and then encrypt it with the current key, right? That's the idea there. Okay, what else? Any option to auto-destroy the old key once the rotation takes place? I'm not sure if there is one. Let's have a look at its rotation period. I don't think so, to be honest. This is mostly because of the thing that I mentioned, right? The whole data needs to be encrypted again. Yeah, the last comment is pretty valid. So what I'm saying is that there isn't any automatic way to do it as part of the platform, right? But obviously you can automate it on your own. So it's not like Google doesn't have technical capabilities to have that option, to give this option. Probably they are consciously saying, let's make it a little bit more difficult for the customers. Like, let's not automate it just like that, because automating it might result in a lot of additional I/O operations when the data needs to be encrypted again, right? in case a key is disabled, destroyed, will Google record the data with the list? Yes. That's exactly the case, right? If you disable or if you destroy, then the data will be encrypted with the right? Okay. I'm not sure about this destroying. First of all, basically, we need to follow the lazy deletion pattern that you see in different places, right? You should first disable, then it will recrypt the data, and then you should destroy. If you just destroy, I'm not sure if the data will be automatically encrypted again. That's why there is that, the delay, right? So, yeah. Okay, let's move forward. Let's see what other topics do we have for today. Okay, I just answered this one, sorry. But let's still see the question. If you have acid, right, you do not have the ability to automatically rotate keys if they are accident. Okay, now we need to choose between A and B. So either we grant the role that we mentioned, or we grant admin role, right? The question clearly asks about rotating the keys at fixed intervals. So it is not only about using the key, but it is really about managing the keys, right? Hence, the last answer would be appropriate, right? So this is an example of a question that you might. That's That's another one, so maybe let's try to answer this one. So in short, you have a GKE cluster, and now you want to change the encryption of its boot disk with a dedicated hardware security layer. So if it's about dedicated hardware security layer, which one do we eliminate? Exactly, CND. I don't see HSM anywhere there. So now the question is, and this is a pretty tricky one, right? We already have 50 chances, that's already high, but now what do we choose? Can we like navigate to the cluster, right? And then change the encryption of the boot disk, or we need to really create a new cluster with those settings, right? And kind of migrate the old one to the new one. Great, I see only B's. This is where you did not choose the easy option, and that's good because the easy option is not technically available, right? That's a decision where you want to encrypt the boot disk with a different setting, change from software to HSM. That's where you need to like migrate to a new service, right? That's what it is. Okay, let's move forward to another topic, which is cloud DLP. That's also something you will practice during the one of the challenge labs or one of the labs. That's a topic that you need to be really careful about, because I have seen comments about people getting 3, 4, or even 5 questions out of DLP on the exam. 5 questions means like up to 10% of the exam might be about cloud DLP. So just pay attention to that, because most of you will get some questions about it, right? Know the use case. So basically, it's about data loss prevention, as the name suggests. However, I think Google is now rebranding that name, and don't be surprised when you're going to the lab. Now data loss prevention is rebranded to sensitive data protection, right? So it will be named differently probably, but that's the same service. If you click sensitive data protection, right? Or data loss prevention, that's the same, like, right? So just be aware of the naming convention. The use cases are pretty obvious, I guess, right? So you need to follow some compliance, or you have some PII data on source, and you want first either to detect the data, right? So you want a mechanism to tell you, hey, you have this and that data that is sensitive. Are you aware of that? Do you even want that data? What do you want to do with that, etc., right? And the other part is the identification, okay? So first of all, let's have a look at the inspection. You first need to set up the service. You need to create a template. We'll practice it. Basically, those templates are based on info types, right? So you first need to set up the etc., right? And the other part is the identification, okay? So first of all, let's have a look at the inspection. You first need to set up the service. You need to have you need to create a template. We'll practice it. Basically, those templates are based on info types, right? So Google have designed like 150 or more different info types, like different, regular expressions, to be honest, that you will be looking for, right, in your data. Please be aware that DLP is always about probability, right? So it's like detecting Argentina DNA number, whatever that is, with some specific sensitivity. You decide when you want to be notified that this thing was found in your data, right? With what probability should DLP react? You can, of course, create your own custom types, custom info types, right? Your own regular expressions. You don't have to focus on that for the exam. And those are about info types. When it comes to de-identification, please be aware of 2 things. The first thing is that mostly DLP will work on text, right? And that's reasonable. You scan through text for sensitive information. But there is also an option to scan through structured data, right? That's a minority of approaches, I would say, but also through images. So you might get some questions or issues like someone is uploading their credit cards screenshot, right, or an image with their driver license, etc. So that's where you need to be aware that DLP is able to work on those directly. You don't have to go through any API, any kind of OCR to detect the text from an image. DLP will handle it like directly, right? So that's the first part you need to be aware. The second part is the transformation rules. Remove sensitive data. Okay, let's move back to info types. So be aware of those different transformation rules, right? When would you use each of those? What does it mean to bucketize the values? When would you shift the data? When would you replace it? When would you redact it? What's the difference between those three? This is very tricky. This is where you really encrypt that data, right? So your de-identification, what's the difference does it mean to bucketize the values? When would you shift the data? When would you replace it? When would you redact it? What's the difference between those three? This is very tricky. This is where you really encrypt that data, right? So your de-identification, your removal of sensitive data is about encrypting that data. So in the target, you will see encrypted data. Why is it important? This is important just because, well, first of all, about encrypting that data. So in the target, you will see encrypted data. Why is it important? This is important just because, well, first of all, if you click on learn more, this is where you will have the explanation of all those methods and some specific use cases for those, right? But what I want to point you out to is those encryption methods, those three methods at the end, which are different and which you can really be asked about during the exam. So you have to differentiate between those three. I've seen questions like asking, okay, now I am using DLP. So you have to differentiate between those three. I've seen questions like asking, okay, now I am using DLP. I have some sensitive data on source. I want to encrypt it to anonymize the data, but I want to make sure that after the data is encrypted, I can go. Seen questions like asking, okay, now I am using DLP. I have some sensitive data on source. I want to encrypt it to anonymize the data, but I want to make sure that after the data is encrypted, I can go back to the previous value, right? So I need to choose an algorithm that is reversible, that allows me to go back to the original value. So this is pretty tricky, right? Those questions go quite deep into DLP. That's why I'm showing you all of that, right? Okay, and let's see what else is important. Okay, after you configure that DLP, you will go to inspection and you will create a job, right? As you see here, it's not about Google allowing you to use DLP just anywhere, but you have just a couple of storage types where you can scan and identify the data from, right? Also, you might see some questions about having some on-premises, I don't know, SQL Server database with that possibly has PII data, right? And DLP also has that hybrid thing that allows you to attach to any source. You have to define it additionally, etc. But this is exactly the use case. Also, one of the most popular use cases that you can be asked about is about having data with having a source with sensitive data and wanting to copy it to target, and the target shouldn't have sensitive data anymore, right? That's where you can achieve it in multiple ways. There is something called data flow. I'm not sure if you're aware, but it's nothing for the security. You can achieve it in multiple ways. There is something called data flow. I'm not sure if you're aware. Basically, it's nothing for the security, nothing specific to security, but that's just a kind of a ETL type of work of process, right? And it allows you to create jobs. From different templates. So what I want to show you is just a single template, which is exactly using a DLP. One of the most common use cases where you have cloud storage bucket on source. So maybe you uploaded some data, either loading it with batch or with streaming, right, with PubSub. Anyways, you ended up with some data in cloud storage, and now you want to copy that storage to BigQuery, but not just copy blindly, like directly, but with DLP in the middle, with DLP template that you created, and that template should change the data, should anonymize it, should shift something, should redact, should encrypt, right, data, so that when you're analyzing the data in BigQuery, you do not have all that sensitive data sitting there, right? So this is where you just point to your source bucket, right? You point to your target BigQuery dataset, and in the middle, you just point to a template in DLP which you have defined. And this exactly this template will define what the actions should be executed. Right? So that's a nice thing there. There's a question, does it identify the scenography under the identify images? I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't think I'm able to answer that question, to be honest. If we go to the identify and into images, then the transformation is like pretty simple, right? It will just put those, I don't know how to call it, those signs, right? Those instead of the real text on the picture, right? So that's like the way it works, I would say, right? Okay. Moving forward, the DLP kind of questions, some of those, again, would be super simple, like the use case, if you want to ensure some compliance, if you want to prevent someone from seeing some information, if you need to fulfill some regulations and you cannot store sensitive data somewhere, and so on and so forth, all those use cases are exactly about using the DLP, right? And again, you don't have to go through any OCR kind of API before you scan images. Exactly, so that would be a AB. Okay. Again, I was too fast, sorry for that, but let's still have a look. This is another type of a question where it goes deeper. This is what I said, you can expect some more. More advanced questions about DLP. You will be prone, or you will be given some kind of a scenario which might say what they really need, right? What type of data is on the source, right? Do you need, if you have dates, would you bucketize them? Would you do date shifting transformation, right? Now, if you have some customers, right, with customer name and type, that would probably be some kind of a list. So most probably, you have to now choose if you would use an info type for the customer with a regular expression or a dictionary, right? If I see customer names and types, probably it sounds like a dictionary. I wouldn't create a regular expression for a list of my customers, right? So this is where we would end up with, first of all, date shifting, and then customer with custom dictionary for customers, okay? So that's where it would be C. First of all, date shifting, and then customer with custom dictionary for customers, okay? So that's where it would be C. But as you can see, this is already pretty advanced DLP question. You need to know all those transformations. You need to understand the business case, right? So that's where Google is asking you about those business real life scenarios. You have to really understand what the company needs. In some cases, it's pretty simple. In such cases, it's not that simple, right? So you need to really understand what's the business requirement underneath, right? And another one, but I want to skip it already because we have we had like 5 questions about Cloud DLP. So this is why, Cloud DLP is, it's handled pretty extensively on the exam. So make sure to go through all those questions. Make sure to go through the lab that you will have assigned about DLP, about the documentation I gave you. Please expect a couple of questions about it. Okay, the last service that we want to cover still today is Secret Manager, right? So this is like a very nice question. Secret Manager and KMS are not similar. They are very similar, and this is exactly why you need to be very good in differentiating between those, right? Why would you use one or the other? We covered KMS, right? We covered KMS quite well today, quite extensively. KMS was all about managing your encryption keys, period. Nothing more, encryption keys. What Secret Manager is about, right? Secret Manager, it's about secrets. What are secrets? Who can tell me what is a secret? An example of a secret? What do you think? Passwords, machine-generated passwords. Some, I would say, connection strings, right? To maybe to your production database. Right? Some keys, yes, but please make sure to understand that this is not an encryption key, right? Service account key, interesting idea. Well, maybe. Service account key is already an encrypted password. So now, if you store it in Secret Manager, you're encrypted it again. So maybe yes, yeah, but yeah, cookies maybe. Okay, so as you can see, the service is pretty similar to KMS. Just like you would create an encryption key, here you just have an option to create a secret. You give it a name, right? So for example, that would be my DB password, right? And then you can upload the file with your secret, or you can define it like or something. Okay. What happens is that your secret is first encrypted, right? So this is also how secrets relate to KMS. With KMS, you define encryption keys. With encrypted, right? So this is also how or some. Okay. What happens is that your secret is first encrypted, right? So this is also how secrets relate to KMS. With KMS, you define encryption keys. With Secret Manager, you define secrets which are encrypted with an encryption key. So this is to say that Secret Manager is using KMS under the hood to encrypt. Are encrypted with an encryption key. So this is to say that Secret Manager is using KMS under the hood to encrypt every secret that you upload. Right? That's one thing. Well, the second thing, I guess the first thing was the clear differentiation between what is a secret and what isn't. Right? Third thing about Secret Manager is the rotation. Please be aware that with KMS, if you set with an encryption key, so this is to say that Secret Manager is using KMS under the hood to encrypt every secret that you upload. Right? That's one thing. Well, the second thing, I guess the first thing was the clear differentiation between what is a secret and what isn't. Right? Third thing about Secret Manager is the rotation. Please be aware that with KMS, if you said please rotate every 30 days, your encryption key would be rotated every 30 days. If you do the same in Secret Manager, then the secret of yours will not be rotated automatically, but you will only get a notification to a PubSub topic saying, hey, you wanted to rotate your secret, so please do so. Right? So this is one of another difference between KMS and the Secret Manager. Other than that, I agree they are pretty similar. You can also, the approach to IAM and isolation is the same, right? Just like you could go to IAM and grant someone some specific Secret Manager roles on the whole project level, you can also do the same on the paired secret level, right? Please, for the exam, please be aware of this one. You can see it quite a lot. Secret Manager, Secret Accessor. This is a role that allows you to access secrets stored in Secret Manager, right? Pretty popular. So just like you could define IAM here on a project level, you can do the same on the secret level, right? So the same approach like with KMS, you also have different versions, right? So you can have a key with a couple of versions. They all can be enabled or disabled simultaneously. You should disable them first, then destroy. Very similar process to KMS. And one last thing, just like you isolated KMS keys, encryption keys, into a separate project, in most cases, that was the best practice from security perspective, the same you would do with secrets. You should have a separate project or projects where you manage those secrets, and then the workloads are just utilizing. For example, if you deploy a VM that needs to access a secret, then only a service account under that VM is running under has that secret access or role to this specific secret, right? Not to all secrets. Okay, that would be it for it. There are some questions. Is there a scenario where KMS or secret keys are broken by hackers? Not aware of, to be honest. Didn't hear about any breaches of that kind of Google services of those. If not, can we use one service? Well, you know, Secret Manager is like HashiCorp Vault, meaning Google will encourage you to use it, but this is really your choice. You can say, okay, I have a password, I will store it somewhere, right? Maybe I even want to explicitly encrypt that password with my encryption key and upload it to a GCL bucket, right? Also a valid scenario. That's your choice. But Google is basically saying, do not store those secrets within code source repos and so on. Okay. With that, let's wrap up for today. Thank you for today's session. It was a good one, I guess. We covered quite a lot. We went all the way up to the secret manager. So next time we will start from VPC service controls. You will get the slides in the quiz and the links. Happy learning. Let's see each other in 2 weeks, I guess, because next week you are having an arcade session. So that will be something different. It's something that I will not be part of. So thanks a lot. See you. Bye-bye.